everybody, welcome back to Vintage Story, episode 56 of season 2 with me, Sid, where I am actually out some 12,000 blocks away from home. That's what I just raided, the last thing we raided in the last episode. I have got a chest full of stuffs, but we're heading south. We're trying, that's some kind of structure down there as well. We're trying to get a more clement climate, and we are currently on the 5th of December and it is 6.9 degrees, whereas back up where we set up our original base it is probably closer -10. So the plan has been and is still to continue back to about 20,000 blocks south of my spawn point. We're currently 12. I may actually decide to change that and actually make it a little bit further north of my spawn point. Now these are, I'm just keeping my eye on my foods, make sure that I don't have anything that's going to go rotten on me and I can eat it in the correct order. So that's got 4 days, that's got 2 days. We'll go with the cranberries then. And yeah, the idea is I want a better place to live. Don't we all, huh? This area is interesting. We've got bauxite, which, you know, is going to come in handy later. In fact, let me just have a look. If I'm looking at that, let me mark, where are you? Rocks. Bauxite. Helps if you can spell. And save. That's a useful thing if you ever spot some of the rarer rocks like bauxite, or any rocks that you like. Chalk is another one, limestone, all of those. Really handy to mark them when you find them, because I guarantee when you come back to it, you're not going to remember. Now, I suspect this area is not brilliant for wolves, but it is brilliant for timber. But we're still heading south, so we're not where we want to be yet. And there is a lot of forage around, so I suppose I should be grabbing a little bit of it just to while we can. Although the growing season should be much greater in these more warmer climates, so you know, food throughout the winter should be less of an issue. The flip side of that is the sellers are less efficient. So yeah. Anyway, right now nothing much here to see. So we are going to continue onwards, and we'll keep poking our map periodically. I think that's a ruin there. Let's well, we might as well head over to it to see what it is. It's kind of that direction, so because if I'm 8,000 blocks south of here, or 7,000 blocks south of here, I'm less likely to be coming up here anytime soon. So any ruins that we spot, we should probably check, unless they are like, you know, death. And I've seen a few of those, a few death ruins. So where is it? It is on... oh, there's another transporter there as well. Okay. Can I make that a little bit more visible? No, you're not going to let me. Okay. Not entirely sure, and again, I've not got anything. I've not got the necessaries to open that up anyway, so let's swim across. Right, I'll be back once we get closer to that ruin. Alright, I say I'll be back, and then 2 seconds later I crest the hill. Its distances on the maps here can be a little bit unpredictable. And we have got Terra Preta, which I should probably get because I'll... high fertility soil, that's Terra Preta, isn't it? Why is that listing that as high fertility? I mean, the particles are from the visible Terra Preta particles mod, because it is so easy to miss Terra Preta if you're not careful. And they are a bit in your face, that's one of the downsides, but and then you got this little tiny, I mean, I wasn't getting excited about this room because unless it was like a dungeon or something, these at this size they don't tend to have a huge amount to them. But it's worth a little dig. I think this is a vanilla ruin and not a Better Ruins ruin as well, as a guess, judging by interesting. Hang on. We've got something down. There's some stuff down here, isn't there? Alright, let's continue excavating out. No, maybe. Right, what we got? Pile of junk. Yeah, I suppose still useful. Farming vessel. It's not clocking up my inventory, so that's alright, I suppose. And that looks to be about it. Let's grab you and move over. What about over? Because this seems like there should be more. Not a huge amount. I'm not being greedy. You're not like, oh, I can't believe that's all there was. But it does feel like there is stuff missing. But I don't know. Maybe not. Right. Let me lose that and that. And we'll I think I can get rid of a few bits and pieces of stuff I'm carrying, because I believe I have some feathers in here, so that will stack there. Anything I want to get rid of in there? Not really. Okay. Right. Onwards. There was that little teleporter ruin over here. Let's go and have a look at that, and then I will break away to go and do some more travelling. So this is, I have 2 teleporter mods now. I have the runes, which allows me to create my teleporters, and then you have this, which creates these structures, and again they require gears and all of that, and then you create a teleporter there. So if I find one of those in the final area that I'm thinking about living, then that might be interesting, because it could open something up. That's a rabbit. So yeah, I'm going to continue and just hop up this hill, because height equals visibility equals lack of surprises, and you avoid surprises and you're better off for it. Yeah, I mean, I've seen lots of wolves on the way down here, but nothing that I've not managed to avoid. Now again, I'm confident that I can take on 1 or 2 wolves now, maybe not half a dozen, and I did see a few where there was quite a lot. I think we head over that way, because there looks to be a water feature over there, some kind of things. I'm not going to forage everything I come across at the moment because I've actually got more food than I can reasonably eat. This is yeah, that's already spoiling. So yeah, anyway, back in a bit. Oh well, we're at 15,000 already. We are at the back end of this desert, and we've just hit another water source. I'm using the water sources pretty much exclusively to get me water terrain features. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, I'm using those a lot to get me to where I need to be. So that's fresh for 21 hours. That's my next eats. That's fresh for 23 hours. That's next. Yeah, but I'm not in any danger of starving, so I'm not worried. Is this new? I don't recall Tool in the game. I don't think I've ever, but then I'm not sure whether I've ever seen brown sedge either. I must admit, and you tend to, if it doesn't have a lot of use, you don't tend to worry about it, and it just kind of slips under the radar and gets filed away in the category of potentially decorative things that you might want to try and use sometime later. But I don't remember that. That is a new one on me, I think. Might be a new one on the game, but it's definitely, I can't recall ever seeing it before. So yeah, we're going to use these water sources, these water land features, not sources, to get us further south. We're still heading for 20,000. I think once we're there, the next thing we'll be finding a place that we want to build in that area, general. Before I set down the permanent teleporter that, obviously I am going to cheat in and we're going to use. So to transfer between the two locations, because obviously we won't have a great deal. We won't have all the inventory that we are used to and things. I suspect that might be a ruin, but I'm not that fussy. I'm more interested in continuing southwards. Similarly, no, that's just a plant. So yeah, we're going to continue onwards, but I thought I'd sort of check in at the 15k mark, and we'll see how we go on at, as we get closer to the 20k mark. But we're now 6th of December. It's still 6 degrees. It's still warm, and that potentially is a good sign that we think. Now what we want it is to be not too warm. Remember that a lot of the crops kind of die at about -4, -5, but they only go up to like 30s and 35. So if it's too hot in the summer, we have exactly the same problem at the opposite end of the year, which can be a pain. But the only way of finding that out is to obviously live somewhere for a season. There's a gap in the islands there, I think, to continue on. Anyway, yeah, that cow just fell. That was if a cow fell that far for real, it would not be walking. It's like they're not really geared up for that. Elephants, definitely, they're not either. They from what I believe, they can't even jump without breaking bones. So I may be wrong, of course. I'm no zoologist. Anybody who is a zoologist can correct me on that. Anyway, yeah, we're going to carry on. I'll see you in a bit. Alright, we've got a medium temporal storm approaching. I have set it to allow me, or at least I believe I've set it to allow me, to sleep through a temporal storm. We've talked about this many times. I think temporal storms are something which you should be able to choose to avoid if it is not convenient for your plans. This is a game where, you know, it's as much about building it as it is about adventuring, and sometimes you're middle of build or you're exploring and you don't want to have to deal with the temporal storm when it arrives. I know that I've heard wolves, by the way, which is why I'm kind of being extra circumspect around this bit, because it's like tiny little distance there between me and this watercourse. I don't think it's a big watercourse, there's a little bit of resin there, but I don't think I'm too worried about that right now. Not hearing any. Alright, let's leg it. I don't think this is a big watercourse though, so yeah, it's not, but it does take us down to a nice little thing. So I think we're going to try and sleep through this thing and hope that I've done my settings right. If I haven't, it could be a very, very short temporal storm. Although I could just try and apply the punk methodology and just run around like an idiot. Not implying that Punk's an idiot, it's just his technique of dealing with temporal storms is so much more ballsy than mine. I secure myself in a very secure temporal storm shelter. He basically runs around his garden. Yep, I'm not making that up. That's his technique, and it works, which is the annoying thing. You know, I spend hours planning how I'm going to. What was that? I think that's a wolf. I'm glad I spotted that. I mean, again, I'm not too desperately worried about a single wolf, but you see, 1, 2, I think there's quite a lot of wolves around here. I'm going to have to try and circumvent them, aren't I? Circumnavigate them. Let's leg it a bit. I mean, there's every chance that I could step on one doing this, but put some distance between me and the known ones, and it's not like I'm shy on food right now. Right. Feels a little bit more. I mean, the visibility is not great, so that's not helping my confidence either. But yeah, so we will hole up somewhere in a little under 6 hours, and we will attempt to sleep through the temporal storm. Map. Red. I'm just putting the colour now and saying it's clay, because I don't really need to say it's fire clay. If I put it as red, then I know it's fire. If I put it as blue, then I know it's blue clay. And seems like I've kind of invented. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, hang on. I need to go and have a look at that. I don't think it's something I can reasonably do while I'm out exploring, but I think that is. Do I? I mean, look, you've got 1 and 2. That's 2 massive ruins there. Oh, just pin them. Those look definitely like something we're going to want to come back and investigate at some point in a future episode. Right, yeah, onwards. I'll be back in a short while. Alright, the storm is imminent. I've dug myself into a hole. I am currently about 17,500 blocks south of where we started, In a hole up a mountain. I have double checked that the temporal torm's deep sleeping is currently set to 1, which is to allow. I've got myself a little fire going because I'm up a mountain, so it's colder up here, so this is likely to have me waking up in the middle of the night where it's probably going to be cold. So that was a consideration, albeit a minor one. Right, you go in there. I think you're my next thing. I keep finding terra preta, or high fertility soil as it's called. Things. I need to sleep because it's off. Right. So this should I should probably have that ready actually, or even that ready just in case I wake up and there's a... Nope, we're good. So yes, it's definitely beneficial to be able to sleep through that storm. That's and I think it's, you know, it's not the end of the world. The storms are necessary because I want temporal gears, but they're not always something I want to have to cope with. And if I'm doing a big explore like this, it's actually not really very convenient because, you know, I've obviously been out long enough and we've travelled a long way. Meandering all the way down, and it's, yeah, I mean, I think that is still the old map style. So this is when I changed back to the new map style, but you know, we're still donking along from our base up here, and it's a good old distance we travelled. So, and we have got some things to play with in the not too in the distant or not too distant future. You know, we've got some teleporters. There is that one that can actually go to red. We've done that. So yeah, there's some interesting bits and pieces ahead of us, but we still need to get another I see. So right, yeah, okay, that's fine. So we're going to wait for the morning. We are going to press on southwards for another 2,500 blocks, and then we're going to try and find somewhere that we think we're going to want to set up home. It is winter. It is -2, but remember I am also up a mountain, so this is a cooler climate up here. Hence why I did that. But yeah, we'll see how we go, and I'll be back in a bit. We're just coming up on 1,800 blocks from 18,000 blocks, I should say, from spawn, and there's a little ruin. I'm not expecting great things from this, but we are in the peridotite, peridotite. I'm never certain which. That's going to be dross. Yeah, I'm never certain whether there's more emphasis on the O or not. But it's just a small ruin, nothing overly exciting, but we'll have a quick peek to see what, if anything, there is in here. Ouch. Really doesn't look to be much though, does they? Oh, there's an empty chest. Whoa. Not even a chest you can carry. Well, that really wasn't worth the win back, so I'm going to continue onwards. We are here. There's not really a lot of water courses around here, so this is proving to be a bit slower going. But we're getting there steadily. I'll grab these because I am running out of berries. And yeah, I'll be back either when something interesting pops up or when we hit 20,000 blocks, whichever happens the first. I suspect the interesting, because 2,000 blocks is still a fair old hike. Back in a bit. Alright, we're at 19,500 blocks. We're in a desert and there are termite mounds and little antelopes. That also possibly means we may have coyotes, I think. That's just a bush. There's a skull over there. It's not ominous at all. And over there is a trader. It's 9th of December and it's 10 degrees at 8 o'clock in the morning. So we are looking pretty good. Oh, and that is a soya. Then we're going to do those because obviously we have not seen any soybean seeds. There's some sunflower over there as well, which I've got the space. I should go and grab them, and some fruit trees. So I did get some fruit tree cuttings. They may not be suitable for this climate. That's the only danger. But we're getting very close. We're like within 500 blocks, and I mean that's probably 200 blocks to that trader. So we can be making a decision. I suppose the other thing we need to keep our eye out for is amaranth seeds. Amaranth, something or other. I'm not too worried about these little ruins. And at the moment, well, I suppose I should go and have a look and see what these trees are, shouldn't I? At the moment, I am not seeing coyotes touch wood. Pomegranate. Oh, okay. I think I'll be able to get a few cuttings from this. Because of course pomegranate is a southern crop, not a northern tree, so it gives me some more options, I suppose. I do want to get rid of that. Been bugging me all along, and that for that matter. Don't you either. What are you? Rice. Okay. Let's go and see who this trader is, then, shall we? And see. As I say, I think he's going to be very. I mean, he's not going to be on 2,000. I think there's probably another 300 or 400 blocks to travel to the 20,000 line, not the 2,000. There's some soybeans over there which I shall go and collect as well. But let's go and just get this chap mapped and on the thing. You are another clothing trade. Okay, I don't think you're any good to me then, because you're just going to be that. In fact, well, we'll mark it, but I don't think there's a huge amount of stuff there. But see, that's 19,600. That is, so we're going to have to go all the way down there. I wish you could build these. I mean, obviously you could build these, but you can't build the leather blocks. Or you couldn't build the leather blocks. Let's keep it down to a, because we're on a new version. You may be able to build a leather block now, but I am pretty certain you won't be able to. Now I think there are, and I have to have a dig around, but I think there are some mods that make some of the uncraftable stuff craftable. And when I say uncraftable, I mean the uncraftable decorative stuff, not the uncraftable overpowered stuff, because obviously that would be, well, overpowered, wouldn't it? So, but that might be something we add to give us some more building options, because you should be able to build a leather block. Then you could build things like that. At the moment, the best I could probably manage is either a block which is of a similar colour, like a coloured clay or something like that, or a stone block. I think that's fire clay over there. Let's head over. And is this a maple forest? It is. That's going to be handy. I should be able to get maple syrup then, shouldn't I? And in fact, if I'm quick about it, I could potentially be harvesting maple syrup. This, because I think maple is between February and May, or I think it's the start of the year. That's all oak, I believe. So yeah, anyway, I'm just going to get us the last few blocks and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, that's it. This is 20,000 blocks. It's 10 degrees at 9th of December in winter, so that's a nice temperature. I suspect it's going to get colder in January still, but what we need to decide now is where we want to live, because this bit here is not... Oh, that's a drifter. I'm not worried about those. Well, unless it's like a nightmare drifter coming out and trying to eat my face off, you know, that would be a little bit disconcerting, I'm sure. There is a ruin down here, but what I need to do is try and find somewhere on this kind of horizontal point. I just want to go and have a look at this ruin first, though, with a good building location, but also some options of building some gardens higher up. So if we find that we are too hot in summer, we can go to a higher altitude and plant crops like that. Now we are here. So now the next mission is to find somewhere to live. I'll go and have a look what this ruin is. Don't think it's going to be anything massive. But I have been wrong before. I mean, that is a forage vessel, which is probably something... Yeah, looks like... Actually, there's a bit of flax in there, so we could grab that, and then we'll just leave the thing. Flax is always handy, especially when it's free. These don't seem to... Oh, blueberries. Hello. Nom nom nom. And then there is something a bit larger here. I mean, this ruin might be useful for building components, if nothing else. I don't really see much else to it, though. So from here, where do we think? I think that way. Maybe go a little bit south, just to that water course, and yeah, in fact I shall mark these as searched. There's probably more to this, but it's not a big ruin. I don't think it's going to yield me massive benefits to go and spend a lot of time on. So right, now we are looking for a potential build site. I don't want to go miles away, and I'm not going to be I'm not going to be super duper fussy. And I've seen lots of interesting and potential build sites on the way down, but they were not at the correct coordinates. So yeah, back in a bit. Alright, we are about wrapping this one up. I have found a build location, I believe, and I am just going to make our first house here. I've chopped down some wood around the area, and we've got a bed ready, so that's all good, and we can just pop that down there. It is 7 o'clock of the evening, so let us just sleep as much of the night away, and we'll show you what we got. But there's a very tall set of hills there which could be incorporated. I've got some ideas for a build. Some of it is a little bit inspired by Grand's build on the server, some of it is inspired by my build on the server, some of it is just a thing. But what I thought we would start off with is we would sit there and we'll 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Let's do this, and we'll fix that up later. So I think that this location here is going to be where we're going to have our teleporter, the permanent one that we're going to pop in. And for the time being, what I need to do is get my chesticle out and go to temporary teleporter, place you down, grab this, and we are going to just put that down as temp, because that's really what it is. And then we're going to stick you well out of the way where I can't accidentally use you. I'm going to pick you up, and everything is going to be good and happy. And then we are going to go back, and it's 6.8 degrees here. It is. And that broke the rune getting back here, but that's fine because we're going to have a permanent one here. Minus 13 up here. We are definitely in a colder climate than we are down there, and that's fine. So I need to get the teleporter block, which I'm not entirely sure on the ID for that, so let me just sort that out. I'll be back in a second. Alright, I've finished doing all the creative ins and outs. We're back to normal. We have got the teleporter here, and if I go and jump on this, we go back up to our base. So transferring down, moving, getting stuff going will not be an issue, which is great. You know, that's exactly what we want. I'm going to continue building and working up here. It's just not during the winter. We are going to travel south for the winter. I do need to sort out my inventory, of course, somewhat, and probably the biggest thing we need to sort out there is this lot. But I will be using these around my entry area. And there is something else I spotted when I was coming in, which I want to pick up as well, but I was a little bit shy on material space. So, but that is a thing. We have now got a permanent teleporter to take us 20,000 blocks to the south, where we will work on a build that incorporates this area down here and that area up there somehow. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do this yet. It will certainly not be as grand as Grand's elven stuff. I am not going to even attempt to try and compete on that. A lot of the ground down here will need landscaping. There's a lot of work to do, but there is a lot of timber. There are wolves, of course, because this looks like a thing. I think we are in a very similar temperate zone to where we were before, and there was a little smidge, a little thingy there that we need to go and grab, which is another obelisk-like thing from the ruins mod. I think we've got a lot of interesting stuff going on around here. That one has been exhausted, but yeah, we've got some space, and at least we can work. So I think the first thing we're going to do is work on we'll work on a temporary structure other than this, because this is vile. We'll get a landing area in around here, and yeah, on that note, I think, nope, that one isn't it. Let me just try and angle that up correctly and go bang. and bring that back. Yeah, until next time, thank you very much for watching. It is January the 1st as well, which is absolutely perfect, because this is the start of a new year in the start of a new location. Till next time, thanks for watching. Bye for now.